Hi, I'm Michael Glass, michaelglass.com, and this is our weekend Forex technical analysis trading plan for Sunday, May 15, 2011. Before we begin our video, we always start off with our disclosures. Any symbols you see today should not be inferred as a trading recommendation. No matter what form of trading you choose, stock, Forex, futures, options, they all have a level of risk associated with them. You can lose all your money. Strategies we show today are for informational purposes only. Future results are not guaranteed, and any investment decision you make is solely your own responsibility to trade at your own risk. Again, this is our weekend technical analysis wrap-up. We're going to look at the prior session's price action. We'll identify key support and resistance price levels for the currency pairs. We'll look at the gold and crude charts to help us gauge market sentiment. We'll create a low volatility watch list, an inside bar watch list, and review the economic calendar to see what may affect our opening trades, and an education spotlight at the end. With that, let's pull up the charts. We are starting off with the dollar currency pairs. First up is the dollar Canadian. And what we see, obviously, we're in a downtrend. Sure, we've made lower lows. However, we are now put in a higher low. So we have long term, we are in a downtrend. Short term, we are in an uptrend. But it's very short, just the past 2 weeks or so. We are also at a pivotal support resistance level. Our support that we put in here, which was broken and tested and as resistance and failed, we're back there now. So this is a key price level to see. The other thing is that we have breached the 50, we have broken it and come back. So the fact that we're above the 50 now does not necessarily mean that we need to go out. So what we need to see is a couple things. These wicks, you see the sellers have clearly established the fact that we're going to, test the buyers. We're going to see if you really want to move this higher. And so what I would do is I'm not ready to go long yet. There were some longs we took in this area here. We took a long here, and then we took a long here. But at this point, I'd rather sit on hands and let the trend define itself. And that's really the theme for many of the dollar pairs. So here's the dollar franc. We'll blow it up for you. Again, we're in a downtrend. Again, we're coming to a pivotal support or resistance, and we have the 50 moving average here. So the question is, what's going to happen? So I will be watching and trying to determine whether or not we're going to air kiss the 50, or whether or not we're going to fail at the 50 again and make a new low. So that's what I'll be watching for. So again, I'm going to sit on hands initially, and I want this pattern to pan out. And the last one is the dollar yen. Here you can see right here that we're in a consolidation pattern. Sure, we're in a downtrend because we're below the 200, the 50, and the 20, but overall for the past 6 months or so, we're consolidating. And then, you can see the price levels that we've been watching. We're sort of in these two zones. This was the overall channel we were playing, and we played the break here. We played the break here. We played this little break up here, and so now we're wondering what's going to happen here. So are we going to hold up and make a higher low here, or is this overall downtrend going to work? Now, the reason we played this right here was because of the break of the downtrend line, the immediate downtrend line. So when we broke this, we tried to go long. So this is still in play. You can see we have an up PPS, but we need to get above these wicks. So this is another one I'm going to sit on hands and let it tell me whether or not we're breaking higher or whether or not it is going to be down and making a lower low. As we begin looking at the euro pairs, we're starting off with the euro Aussie, and you can see a thing. First of all, you can see this congestion, although we're below the 200, the 20, and the 50, so that says downtrend, but you can see this congestion that we're in, and you can see the support here. And what we did is we traded the break of the support, and then we traded the break of that support. Now we're kind of hanging out here. Right now, I would say sit on hands. Look at the 1 hour chart. Talk about consolidation. Next, we have the euro Canadian. And here has been in an uptrend, but notice that there's still this big box here. Even though we're in an uptrend, you can see we got the top of the box up here, and then we can say there's a bottom of the box here. with, of course, the breakout being the earthquake. So one thing to note with that is that as we fell off and started to come down, we're at a key support level. We're also at the 200 moving average, falling 3 pattern on the daily. So if it breaks below the 200 here, breaks below the wicks, there could be a trade to the downside. A little bit ambitious to think we're going to get all the way down here, but there is some more support in here. What about the Euro franc? Here we can see the channel that we're in here, the top being here, down at the bottom. But this is another one. I mean, again, what you don't see is a pattern of trade. Where's the trend of trade? What are we trading? And we know that high probability trading is all about trading a trend. What about the Euro pound? Here we're in an uptrend, but we broke the uptrend, and now we're sitting at key support, sort of like that falling 3 pattern that we saw on the Euro Canadian. And then we don't see this too often, but this is the 500 moving average. We're getting ready to make a falling 3 pattern on the 500. So I'd say a break below that could bring us down to the 200 moving average. And then finally we have the Euro dollar. And this one, great uptrend, that was broke. We broke the 20, we broke the 50, coming down here at another level of support. We already broke several key support levels when we were looking at the 425. But now we're coming in, here's a 500 and 200 kind of meeting together. So, and we already have a completion of that falling 3. Maybe the Euro dollar is leading us lower with some of the debt concerns in Greece, pulling the euro down. And with QE2 ending, strengthening the dollar, we may see this continue on to the downside. But I would wait to see what happens here at this swing high at about 1.403 before I make any decisions on a trade. Okay, we're going over to the pound. We're starting off with the pound franc. And first off, we can see the some of the things we traded, just like some of the things with the euro. We traded this break. We traded this break. Now we come back into this range. We've actually also traded this up move here too. Now we sort of have a wannabe rising 3 pattern. More importantly, we close back below the 20. It'd be great for us to get above. And then we have another area of resistance to get to the 50 moving average. So you define your level of risk. We got to trade here to the upside. We got to trade here to the upside. And we got to trade here to the upside. Risk, the most, middle, the least. So, you determine what your level of risk would be for that. Let's go to the pound yen. Here we can see descending wedge that we were trading. We did break it, and the question is, I think there's you can see there's a potential support area here at 130. It closed where this wick is. My point is, do you want to trade this? Buyers are finding value at 130, so there is an aggressive short here. But for right now, I would wait to see what happens at 130 before I would get into this trade. Then we have the dollar, the pound dollar. Very nice uptrend. Very nice uptrend. We sort of got a channel up here. Let's see here. Here. And we got some things going on down here. So, could this fall down to the 200? It certainly can. You can see this wick here. Buyers found value here. Buyers found value here. So, I would let it get below the wick and then trade that down to the 200 before doing an aggressive trade before that. And we'll finish off with 2 other pairs against the dollar. We got the Aussie dollar. Oops. Which has found a little support here at the 50 moving average, and we'll bring up the gold chart in a second. So the question is, are we going to break the 50? And if we break the 50, I mean, really the next firm price level is here. But there is a little, there's a little something going on here. But we've got sort of an M pattern, but buyers found value. So I let it break the 50 before trading to the downside. Again, that's counter trend. Keep in mind we're still in an uptrend. And then finally the New Zealand dollar. Same thing coming on. Got an M pattern. This one has not broken yet as far as the M pattern. Even a little wannabe head and shoulders pattern. So if we break lower, there is some room for this one to fall also. So this one interests me more than the Aussie dollar. Okay, taking a quick look at gold, and one of the things that you can see with gold is it looks very similar to the Aussie dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the pound dollar. We see the M pattern. We see it sitting at the 50 moving average. A little room to move down lower. So there is definitely some weakness going on right now in gold. The question is, are we going to bounce? I mean, we could draw the trend line down and have that descending wedge pattern going on here. And again, it has to resolve itself one way or the other. Let me try that one more time. So you can see, so it's going to have to resolve itself one way or the other, to the upside or to the bottom. And then on crude, we see the same thing, a little bit further pullback in crude, and we could draw that down one more time. And again, it has to resolve itself one way or the other. Break lower or break higher. What's important is that if we break lower, we come into another major consolidation range. We come into another major consolidation range if we break lower into this next range. All right, going into the close from Friday, we don't have any low volatility watch list. Remember, check us out on Twitter, Move Up with Mike on Twitter, and we do update that periodically throughout the day. Inside of our watch list, we got the pound franc and the New Zealand Canadian. Let's go look at the economic calendar and see what's going to affect our trades this week. Okay, so going into Sunday, we've got the Aussie home loans coming up on Monday. We've got Fed Chairman speaking and some auctions as far as T-bills. The minutes from the FOMC, maybe they'll say something about QE2 ending. Scrolling down, you can see what's going on. Economic statement in Germany. Keep coming down. PPI inflation data for New Zealand. And scrolling down. What we can see, I guess the main thing I want you to see is that compared to last week, we are filling up a little bit. Last week was a pretty light week for economic releases, and we are starting to fill up a little bit with regards to economic releases that are affecting our currency pairs. So we're going to end with our education spotlight, and we're talking about the Witch's Brew, which is really all about your trading journal and what you should be doing to come up with the best trades. And the only way we can do that is by making adjustments, reviewing what we're doing so that we can adjust to the current climate. We've got to know what currency pairs we're trading. We've got to know the times of days that we're trading. Why was it trading? What was the setup that we're using? So that we can evaluate these things and see whether or not they're working, whether or not they need to be tweaked, are our profits, our stops, or our profits outweighing our stops. Sometimes you have a good setups, but your stops, if you're using them improperly, wipe out all your profits, and therefore one loss takes out 5 wins. Sometimes we're in trades longer, sometimes we're in trades shorter. So in the end, what we want to do is be able to evaluate your decisions on a consistent basis, reviewing and making adjustments to the current climate. That's what high probability trading is all about. That's what successful trading is all about. As we talked about before, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Move Up with Mike on Twitter and YouTube. And we have a page on Facebook, Are You Financially Literate? Check us out there to keep up to date with our videos and blog posts. You know about our Forex trading room, Earn While You Learn. They've got a great signal service. And if you're trading Forex, you might as well get paid to trade. Doesn't change your spread, doesn't change anything. So get cash back for your Forex trades. A great signal software, help predict the trend 8 hours in advance. And if you're into signals, we have this great automated Forex trading that you can either have them do it automated or you can get the signals and trade yourself. Tons and tons of signal providers. Check us out. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.